everybody, so this is going to be different from a typical barbecue video. It's not really a barbecue video, but we are going to cook on the Acorn ceramic grill. And what we're going to make today is Carne Guisada. If you don't know what Carne Guisada is, it's a staple here in South Texas area. I'm actually East Texas, Houston, but I did live outside of San Antonio for quite a time. And Carne Guisada is a Mexican beef stew, basically. And what makes it more Mexican is the cumin that's in it, and just the style that it's cooked. Also, this stew can be eaten just as it is, or you can eat it in a tortilla. A lot of Mexican restaurants, especially hole-in-the-wall places in San Antonio and the surrounding area, will actually sell this as a stew, or you can put it with some tortillas and eat it as a taco. A lot of people eat it as breakfast, really. I did. I love it. I would eat it year-round there. But this is a good wintertime meal. So if you're looking for something to put in a crock pot or cook on the stove or on your grill, this is a good wintertime meal. So let's talk about what we're gonna use here. I went out and actually picked up a Dutch oven. I've kind of wanted one for a while. This is a cast iron one. This is a 7-quart. You can probably get away with like a 5-quart, but this is the same price as the 5-quart, so I just went ahead and got the 7-quart. More space for later on for other dishes, right? So the ingredients you're gonna need for this is some chicken broth, 1 can. You can use 1 tomato diced up, a medium to large tomato. I just went and got some diced tomatoes. Some black pepper, not gonna need much of it, just a little bit. Some ground cumin. Some garlic powder, just a little bit of it. And some table salt. You need a medium onion, so we can dice up here for the video. And about 3 to 4 potatoes, depending on size. These are kind of small potatoes, so I just went ahead and got 4 of them. We're gonna dice them up and put them in the stew as well. And you need about 3 pounds of stew meat, cubed meat. Usually it'll be called boneless stew meat at your grocer, but you need about 3 pounds of that. And you're gonna need some tortillas to serve this in and consume. So let's get in and dice up the vegetables, and then we will head out to the grill and get that thing fired up, and we will start browning up the meat, browning up the onions, and then we will add all our tomatoes and everything as we go. So let's get in on this and do this. Okay guys, so here's our diced onion. Actually I only used half the onion. It does make quite a bit of diced onions. That must have been a little bit larger than a medium, really. But yeah, these are gonna smell great on the Dutch oven as it cooks. And I've got some diced up potatoes. You may want to peel them. If you don't like skins on your potatoes, you can peel them. I like skin on my potato. It's actually better for you anyways, fiber wise. And I've gone ahead and washed these, so they're ready to go on the grill as well. So let's get out to the Acorn and get it fired up and get this going. Alright guys, here we are outside with the acorn. I've got a bed of coal already in here. We don't really need wood for this cook. We're really just treating the acorn as a heat source. I'm not looking to do any smoking or anything like that, but I want to get this thing dialed up to about 350 to 400 degrees so we can cook our beef up real good. And then I want to dial it down to about 250 or so for a low and slow simmer. So let's go ahead and get this fire started up here. I've already cleaned out most of the excess ash in here with my little stir tool. So now what I want to do is get our starter going. Of course, I have random rogue leaves just landing in my fire, or landing in my barbecue pit sometimes. They won't hurt anything. The food will be covered anyways, so at least for this cook. Make sure my bottom damper is wide open here for good airflow. Go ahead and throw a little fire starter under there. Give her a light. Get us a nice hot bed of coals going. I'll make sure this top damper's open. Now it is. Alright, we'll let this get going. We'll get back to cooking up some cued beef here. Alright, as you see, the starter's getting going there. I am going to use the Inkbird here as my monitoring device. I love this thing. It's been great so far. I'm just going to use that to monitor the grate level temp like I always do. And the char griller, the actual gauge is busted, doesn't work anymore. It got wet for a time or two and just doesn't work anymore, so I'll have to replace that at some point. Not really a priority for me, considering that I rarely ever use the actual gauge on the grill itself. I've always used my grate level probe to give me an accurate reading on my temperatures inside the grill. So once we have a nice fire going, we'll get this in there, and then we'll get the Dutch oven on there, we'll add a little oil, and then we'll start frying up some meat. Alright guys, we have a nice bit of hot coal here now. Just going to kind of dump this over. Alright, move that out of the way. I like to take my little poker stick and just kind of spread those coals out a little bit. You want a good hot bed going here. Now there's a couple things you can do. We're not going to do it in this video. Mainly because I'm ill experienced at it. You can actually set the Dutch oven right on the coal if you wanted. I'm not going to do that because I'm actually looking to simmer this at some point. So we're going to put our grates in place. Then we're going to take our Dutch oven, put it right in the middle. We're just going to let it sit over that, and I'm going to leave this open for now. I'm going to worry about temp control here in a little bit. But right now we kind of want a high heat environment for browning the meat. So I'm just going to let this sit over the hot coals for a little bit. Once it's hot enough, we will come back and brown the meat and the onions. And we will also be adding a couple tablespoons of flour in here to kind of help with the thickening of the stew. So stay tuned for that. Alright, let's go ahead and put about a tablespoon of oil in here. I'm using canola oil. A lot of Mexican dishes call for lard, but we're going to not do that. Just going to put about a tablespoon of oil in there. And then kind of stir around a little bit. At the bottom of this cast iron real good. It got really hot really quick, guys. So Next we're going to do our stew meat, so I'm just going to open this up. Go ahead and add our stew meat in here. Oh, we'll take the pads out. The blood pads, if you will. I'll let that sit in there. I'm glad I got the 7-quart now. Alright, and let it sit and continue to let it get hot. I'm actually going to put the lid on this. And we'll be back here in a moment to add the onions too. Alright guys, I felt like I needed to close this anyways. Wanted to speed up the heating up on the sides of the pot and everything. You want to wear high heat gloves for sure when you're dealing with cast iron. Oh yeah, our meat's already kind of simmering around in here. Just gonna keep stirring it till it's all nice and brown. Looking good so far though. I'll add the onions here shortly. Alright guys, let's see how we're looking here. Oh yeah, meat's cooking up nice. We're going to go ahead and throw the onions in here. Kind of nice having metal shells on the side too. Throw the onions in. Next thing we're going to add is 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour to kind of act as a thickener. Stir that in a little bit. Tell you, man, this is one of my favorite dishes. Alright, we're going to let it cook down a little bit. Alright guys, let's check on things. Oh my god. We got this sucker up to a boiling. I'm going to set the cover over here. I'm going to stir this up and we're going to add our chicken stock, tomatoes. Get this going. In goes the chicken stock. In goes our tomatoes. About the equivalency of 1 chopped up tomato. And we're going to go ahead and add in our seasonings as well, and we're going to bring this to a boil, and once it's to a boil, then we will reduce it to a simmer, which is when I'll start doing the temp control. Alright, we go get the spices. First up, garlic powder. Let's go ahead and do a teaspoon of that. We're going to do 3 teaspoons of ground cumin. This is what makes that flavor for sure right here, is the cumin. Do not leave out the cumin or you will be disappointed. 2 teaspoons of salt. And half a teaspoon of black pepper. Let's go ahead and stir all these flavors in. And these tomatoes will cook down, man. They'll cook down to like a real nice sauce stew. I'm just going to stir the flavors in real good. Those are up. Once it's boiling, we'll reduce the temperature. Alright guys, been a few minutes. Let's see how... Oh, we're boiling. Man, look at that. So now what we're going to do... I'm going to simmer this. What we're going to do is we're going to start cutting off the airflow to the bottom, to the top. I'm going to kill the fire some. Well, I'm going to kill it completely almost. And then we'll start ramping the temperature back up to about 300 or so. So it just simmers for the next hour. And I'm sure glad one of you guys said something. I need to add the potatoes. Sometimes I make this without potatoes. So let's get the potatoes in there. Whoops. Not too late though. Plenty of time. So let's get the potatoes mixed in here. Something about cooking outdoors over fire is just relaxing. I don't know what it is, man. But yeah, cool. Got the potatoes in there now. Now we can chill. Alright everyone, let's see how we're looking. I've been keeping the grill right around 350 or so, 349. It's dropping now because I have the grill open, but let's go ahead and pop open the top here. This is almost done. It's been simmering around in this Dutch oven for a little, right about an hour. I'm gonna let it go for another half hour and we will take it off the grill, but it's looking pretty close to done. Man, look at that. Looks so good, man. Good old stew for the winter time. It's thickening up too real nice. Those tomatoes are really cooked down. That sauce is just getting nice and thick. So it's almost done. Let it go for maybe another, I'd say 15 minutes to half an hour. guys, here are the tacos all plated up. You saw me cook this on the grill, man. You can do this inside as well on your stovetop. I have a grill. It's just fun to cook on it, right? So that's what I did. So I've got my taco all loaded up. You can put cheese on it if you want. I chose the latter to not put cheese on it, but we're gonna take a bite of this. Man, it's so good. It's really, really good. This is just like what I used to buy in the restaurants in San Antonio. I'm telling you, this recipe is spot on. This is legit carne guisada. You don't have to eat it in a tortilla if you don't want. A lot of people eat it as a stew. Had to wipe my face. A lot of people eat it as a stew. Some people take mashed potatoes and they'll pour this over top of mashed potatoes. But I've always liked it in a taco. And it's so good, man. So I hope you guys find this a good wintertime meal to make. I'm gonna have another bite because it's starving, man. I didn't eat breakfast or lunch. It's almost 1 o'clock. That's so good. Look at that steam. So good, man. So, anyways, give this a shot. Whether it's on your Weber grill, on your regular, any kind of grill, as long as you got coals and you can kind of control the heat. Definitely do it in a Dutch oven. It keeps that moisture in there so you don't lose too much moisture while you're cooking. This was my first time actually doing it on the grill. Turned out great. I've done it on the stovetop several times. But I think I'm gonna cook it on the grill because it was fun. And I like playing with fire and making food at the same time. So cheers. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button, hit the like notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And also smash the like button, because the more times the like button is smashed, I get bumped up in the tier of suggested videos. So y'all take care, and I'm gonna finish these tacos.